So Asmongold, listen, I'm sure Geeks and Gamers fans and viewers probably not the biggest fans of Asmongold, okay, but he is one of the internet's and Twitch's most popular streamers, and he's been hit with a little bit of controversy within the past couple of days. He shared some, and I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of it, but he gave a stance on the whole Palestine Israel stuff. Okay, he made a statement that I'm not going to fully get into. You guys can probably do your own research. This isn't my channel, so I'm not going to explicitly say exactly what he said, but he took a stance. Yeah. Asmongold stepping away from OTK leadership amid criticism over Palestine comments. We have his apology here. So prominent Twitch streamer Asmongold has announced he's stepping away from his leadership positions at OTK and Starforge in an apology video following backlash around his comments about Palestine. He uploaded a 20-minute long apology video on YouTube on October 16th. So what was that? Yesterday, which he decried his statements on the conflict in Palestine as horrible, disgusting, and mean-spirited. I skimmed to the part where he starts his apology. We'll listen to a little bit of it, and then we'll get Mike's point of view on it.
Some comments about Palestine and also about Hamas and, you know, some just general, you know, basically opinions that were trivializing the genocide that's happening there. And I don't really want to like mince words or like try to like, oh, I wasn't justifying or, you know, promoting it. I said something about it that was disgusting. I said that I didn't care about innocent people getting killed by another force, by anything. And I think that that's a horrible, disgusting, mean-spirited thing to say. And I don't necessarily think that it was really racist, really. But when I'm using language like Palestinians or like the people there, rather than what my real language was, I've always been very outspoken and very against religious extremism. And I still am. I think that any religion and any way of thinking that's going to cause you to put other people in like kind of positions below you as like, you know, like gay people, women.
Let's see if he gets to an actual apology.
I've rewatched the clip, right? Or a number of the clips. And it's like I've almost made an effort not to draw a distinction between the two things. I think that it's taken me, this is what's so crazy about it, is that I think this has been going on now for like 2 years. I think that I've been slowly devolving into the most mean-spirited, just like I don't really even know what the word is for it. Just like the most mean-spirited, rude, like nasty, like just callous, psychopathic version of myself. I think that I've been devolving into this.
Okay, so he apologizes really kind of without saying sorry. At least I haven't played the whole clip. Maybe he does actually verbally say, I'm sorry. But this is an apology in some sorts. And he basically explains that he's become a bitter person over the past several years. He says, I want to do this for myself. He said, I want to take accountability for the bad things I've done and for letting my life get this out of control. And if you've seen kind of like the way he lives and his certain habits of his lack of hygiene and his lack of, I guess, self-care, what he's saying does make sense here, that he probably does. He's become a bitter person. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, number one thing, Jeremy has said this many times. We've all talked about this. You never apologize to the mob.
Right.
The biggest mistake you can make in any situation is apologize to the mob. I think that if you're going to come to the realization that maybe you're unhappy, maybe you're a bitter person, maybe you're not putting out the kind of content that you would like to put out, or the kind of stuff, or you know, your attitude isn't in a place, or you're not in the right headspace, that's fine, man. Come to that conclusion, talk about it, you know, talk to your audience about it, let them know, hey man, I'm just, you know, trying to be real with you guys about stuff. But all of this is predicated on him talking about something going on in the Middle East. All of this is predicated on him saying something and other people contacting him and telling him how wrong he was about his situation. You don't care about people dying overseas in another country? Well, you're so calloused and heartless. All of what he's saying sounds like he's reading off one of these fucking teleprompters that all these celebrities fucking read off of. This feels like a YouTuber apology where he wrote out a statement and said, I got to read this and talk about this and apologize to everybody who's mad at me. But you're not really apologizing to your audience. You're not really apologizing to the people watching you. What you're doing is you're apologizing to the angry people who are trying to then damage your brand, because we already know how this goes. You say something that's not in line with the mainstream attitude, the mainstream narrative of what's going on. And I'm not going to comment on Palestine and Israel and all that. What I'm saying is, like, you comment on something and maybe you have a more nuanced take or a more base take, or maybe you're trying to be a little bit more fair across the board, and they come after you, they attack you, they're screaming at your businesses, they're screaming at you online, they're clipping it out and they're posting it and trying to make it go viral. You cannot apologize to these people. Now you will never ever have that ground back. You will never regain that ground. Those people now know that you are weak. They know that you will cave to pressure, and they know that they can rattle you and make you do whatever they want you to do, you know.
Yeah,
So.
Because even if he were to walk back and have that point of view, like you just said, where it's like, yeah, I said what I said, I have my beliefs, and I'm not going to apologize for it, that would have been the best case scenario. But now that he's apologized, now he can't backtrack, because if he does backtrack, now it's going to be even worse, because they know he can be controlled. He's already apologized. Yeah. So if he backtracks now, they're going to come after him even harder. In quotes, this is Asmongold's words. I've always read a lot of very bad things about Islam. I've made a lot of criticism of it. I've talked to a lot of people about it. I've heard a lot about it, and I've been watching things about it. I've been hearing people tell me this is the way it is, but I've never seen it. So he's saying, oh, listen, all of these opinions that I've had, these are opinions that people have told me. I've never done the research myself. These are just things that people have told me. These are the opinions of others, not mine. They might have helped influence of what I said, but truthfully, this isn't what I believe. This is just what I've heard. That's his retraction on this whole thing.
Well, guess what, buddy? Like, you have a massive platform. You're the one that said it. You talked about it. And listen, once again, if you even want to say, yo, I talked about a thing that I didn't have a full knowledge base on, I've learned a little bit more, maybe my take wasn't as nuanced as I would like it to be, that's one thing. But you're going to be like, you're not even just encompassing what you talked about on that stream. You're saying, I've noticed that I've gotten a little bit more bitter, a little bit more a worse version of myself. Why? Maybe you should ask yourself why that is. And you know what? A big part of it is because of all the shit that's happening right now. We're all dealing with it. We're all looking at the entertainment industry, the video game industry. We're watching political opponents.
The economy.
The economy. All of this stuff is turning to shit, and everybody's frustrated and mad. And
right.
People are trying to fight back against it and figure out why, or address why, or do something about it with, providing other alternatives, whatever the thing that you're doing is. But the fact is, things are not in a good spot, and you want to talk about it. And then as soon as anybody pushes back against you, you fucking fold like a lawn chair. Come on, man. Like, just have a spine and just say, you know what? I'm not happy with everything. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I was ignorant in everything that I talked about. You know what? I say ignorant shit sometimes. And sometimes people will educate me, whether it's in my chat or whatever. But I'm not going to sit there and apologize for having an opinion on something or talking about it. I'm just going to say, yo, now I know a lot more than I did before. My bad. Or, oh, okay, cool. Now I know more. Now I can be more educated talking about it in the future.
Because nowadays, when you're dealing with the mob, an apology is only an admittance of guilt, and they are going to hammer it home that you admit that you were wrong, and we're going to make you feel that you were wrong. But to think that Asmongold is forced to get a real job now, that his career is over. Asmongold is worth several $1 million. Asmongold could stop streaming now and never stream again, never work a real job again, and he is set for life. Whatever future children he might have are set for life, and his grandchildren are set for life. Okay, dude is rich. Okay, so he's not going to be hurting. Okay, but he's a young kid. I'm sure he's at least in his mid-30s. Okay, so his career's not over. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. He has been banned on Twitch, and so his statements, Twitch did ban him. But when Twitch says ban, it's so weird because it's more of like a suspension. Because he's been banned for, I believe, 14 days. 14 days, his Twitch account was banned. So he's been really suspended for 14 days. And the argument in this is Twitch is very shaky and touch and go with some of their suspensions and bans, because there have been individuals, women, some of these e-thoughts on Twitch who have literally been having sex on stream, sticking their ass out of windows and shitting out of their apartment, doing ungodly things on stream, and have been banned for less time than 14 days. Nadia, I don't know if the chat knows about Nadia, but there's a streamer called Nadia. She's less favorable in the Call of Duty community. She doxed somebody. She doxed one of her super chatters, somebody who donated her money, doxed him, and was banned for less than 24 hours? Yeah. But Asmongold gives an opinion on the current war going on in the Middle East. He gives an opinion, maybe a not well-educated opinion. To his standards, he said that he wasn't well-educated on it. He gives an opinion, and he's been banned for 14 days.
It's disappointment, but...
Well, yeah, and now Asmongold, like you said, he's going to be under a microscope every stream now, every time that he has an opinion, no matter what, because he backtracked, he apologized. Now he's going to be under a microscope. And not only that, now that this cancel mob has went after him and got this apology after him, they're just on to the next one. They're just on to the next streamer, and they're just going to keep doing it. They're just going to keep doing it and keep going after the next guy and see how many people that they can take out, that they control, because it's all about control. They want you to bend the knee to their beliefs. Well, there is some good that came out of this whole situation with Asmongold. Asmongold has finally decided to clean up his house after being canceled. All right, let's see what he has to say about it.
And I'm going to try to, like, I don't know, like, clean up part of my house. I'm going to try to do this, and I'm not going to hire a cleaner. As I said, I was raised Roman Catholic.
I was raised in a middle class family. Yeah. that's what I hear. That's what I think when he says I'm going to clean my house and I'm not going to hire a cleaner because I was raised Roman Catholic. What the fuck does that have to do with it? Yeah.
Wild, and I'm not going to hire a cleaner. As I said, I was raised Roman Catholic. I view this as a penance, and I think I need to do this for myself.
Cleaning your house isn't a fucking penance. It's just what you should be doing with your regular life. Listen, man, I get it. If you stay perpetually online and you're online a lot, I get it. If you're like, oh shit, you know what? I left a fucking bowl on my table or whatever, or I left an energy drink can here or there. But if your house is in absolute disarray or whatever, because you're streaming and you're not cleaning up because you never get off your fucking computer and your house is a mess, it's not a fucking penance for you to clean your house. And it's not even a brag to be like, and guess what? You know what I'm not going to do? You know what I'm not going to do, audience? I'm not going to hire a professional cleaner with my millions of dollars to clean my house. I'm going to do it myself. And he didn't even say he was. He said, I'm going to try. Maybe I'm going to get to. Like, so it's like, what the fuck? And that doesn't mean you're going to keep it clean. Bro, just say, like, you know what? I realize the state of my house is unacceptable, and that's also probably affecting my mental health. I'm going to clean this shit up or whatever. But it also feels like he's doing that to try to gain some brownie points. And I'm like, you shouldn't get brownie points for doing basic human things like cleaning your house. Like, oh, I'm going to take more showers, everybody. It's like, okay, congratulations. What the fuck does that have to do with you not getting canceled on the internet? You know,
and I'd go out on a strong limb and say that if he is suffering from depression, it's probably because of the state of his clutter, his house, his mess, his garbage, like his lifestyle and his mess, the way he's living is probably why he suffers a little bit from depression.
What a mess, man. It sucks. Like I said, it sucks, but you know, I hope he
Maybe
learned a
he
lesson
needed the
from it.
wake up call.
Yeah, maybe he did. But, you know, I hope that, like I said, instead of leaning more into the cancel mob and them following him and doing whatever they want him to do, I hope he actually gets his shit together and says, you know what? I'm going to have opinions and I'm going to have attitudes about things, and I don't need to let people destroy my life because they don't agree with my opinion on something. Like, you know, that's not the way to go either. So
Mm-hmm.